The medical bay of the Starfire refuge hummed with the sterile efficiency of 100 alien technologies working in harmony. Lena stood beside the examination table, her human frame dwarfed by the towering Crithian medical officer whose chitinous plates gleamed under the harsh white lights. In her hands, she held a simple hypodermic injector primitive by galactic standards, but effective. On the table, small and trembling, sat Joseph. The boy couldn't have been more than 7 standard years old. His eyes, wide and terrified, darted between the needle in Lena's hand and the door behind her, calculating escape routes that didn't exist. He was the last survivor from colony ship Epsilon 7, pulled from a damaged cryopod 3 days ago. The physical wounds had healed quickly enough. The psychological ones ran deeper. "I don't want it," Joseph whispered, his voice cracking. His small hands gripped the edge of the examination table until his knuckles turned white. The Crithian medical officer clicked his mandibles in what Lena had learned was frustration. "The vaccine is necessary, young human. The void plague has reached this sector. Without immunization, your survival probability drops to 12.3%. The statistics didn't help. Joseph's breathing quickened, his chest rising and falling in rapid, shallow gasps. Lena recognized the signs she'd seen them before in the refugee camps on Kepler 442b, in the evacuation centers on Mars, in every place where humanity had been pushed to its breaking point and forced to endure one more thing. "Dr. Kresh," Lena said quietly, "give us a moment. Do. The Crithian's compound eyes fixed on her. "Time is a factor. The quarantine will hold for 5 more minutes." Her tone left no room for argument. Dr. Kresh's antennae twitched, but he retreated toward the door with clicking steps. 5 minutes. No more. The door hissed shut behind him. Lena turned back to Joseph, who had begun to cry silently, tears streaming down his dirt-smudged cheeks. She set the injector down on the counter and pulled up a stool, sitting so she was at eye level with the boy. "You know what the worst part is?" she asked softly. "About being scared of needles?" "Mina." Joseph didn't answer, but his eyes flickered toward her. "The worst part is that nobody really gets it. They tell you it's just a little pinch. They tell you it'll be over in a second. They tell you to be brave." Lena shook her head. "But they never tell you the truth." "What's the truth?" Joseph's voice was barely audible. "The truth is that being scared doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." She smiled gently. "I'm scared of needles too." Joseph's eyes widened. "You are?" Terrified. Lena reached for her sleeve and began rolling it up, exposing the pale skin of her inner arm. "Have been since I was your age. Maybe younger. I once ran out of a doctor's office and hid in a supply closet for 2 hours. Despite himself, Joseph let out a small, wet laugh. "Really? Really? My mom had to bribe me with ice cream to come out." Lena's expression grew more serious. "But, you want to know what changed?" Joseph nodded slowly. "I learned that being brave doesn't mean not being scared. It means doing the scary thing anyway, especially when it matters." She picked up the injector again and held it where Joseph could see. "This matters, Joseph. This keeps you alive. And I know you've been through so much already. I know you're tired of being poked and prodded and tested. I know you just want to go home." The boy's lip trembled. "I don't have a home anymore." The words hung in the sterile air between them. Lena felt the familiar ache in her chest, the one that never quite went away since the Convergence Wars began. She'd helped evacuate 17 colonies, pulled survivors from the wreckage of 34 ships, and every single time, she heard some variation of those same words. "Then we'll find you a new one," she said firmly. "But first, you need to be healthy enough to get there. And I promise you, I swear, on everything I have left, I won't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself." Lena adjusted her sleeve higher, exposing more of her arm. "Watch." She positioned the injector against her own skin, the familiar cool metal pressing into her flesh. Her hand trembled slightly, not for show, but from genuine fear that had never really left her. Even after dozens of vaccinations across a dozen worlds. The thing about humans, she said, steadying her hand, is that we're not the strongest species in the galaxy. We're not the smartest, or the fastest, or the toughest. She pressed the trigger. The injector hissed, and she felt the sharp sting followed by the familiar ache of the vaccine entering her bloodstream. Her jaw clenched, but she didn't look away from Joseph. But we show up. We do what needs doing, even when we're scared. Especially when we're scared. She pulled the injector away and set it down, rubbing her arm. There. Done. And yes, it hurt. It always hurts a little. But I'm okay. See? Joseph stared at her, his breathing slowly normalizing. The terror in his eyes had shifted into something else. Not quite courage, but perhaps the seed of it. If. He started, then stopped. He swallowed hard. If you hold my hand, will you do it? Lena felt her throat tighten. She moved closer, picking up a fresh injector from the sterile tray. I'll hold your hand the whole time. And Joseph? You can scream if you need to. You can cry. You can squeeze my hand as hard as you want. Whatever you need to do to get through this, you do it. There's no shame in it. She extended her free hand, and after a moment's hesitation, Joseph's small fingers wrapped around hers. His grip was surprisingly strong, desperate. Ready? Lena asked. Joseph shook his head. No. Good. Honest answer. She smiled. Let's do it anyway. The injector hissed. Joseph cried out, his grip tightening until Lena's fingers went numb. But he didn't pull away. He stayed right there, this small human child who'd lost everything, choosing to endure one more painful moment because someone had shown him it was possible. When it was over, Joseph was sobbing, but he was also laughing, that strange, relief-filled sound that comes when something terrible is finished. Lena pulled him into a hug, feeling his small body shake against her. You did it, she whispered. You were so brave. I was scared the whole time, Joseph said into her shoulder. I know. That's what made it brave. Through the observation window, Dr. Kresh watched with his multiple eyes, his understanding of humans expanding in ways his species' extensive databases had never quite captured. These strange, fragile creatures with their soft skin and soft hearts, who felt fear so intensely yet pushed through it anyway. In the quiet of the medical bay, Lena held the child and thought about all the other Josephs scattered across the galaxy. All the frightened, displaced humans who needed someone to show them that survival was possible. That courage wasn't the absence of fear but the decision to act despite it. That was humanity's real strength. Not that they didn't break, but that they kept putting themselves back together, one terrifying moment at a time.